Welcome to Lighting for Profits.
All light.
Powered by Emery Allen.
Get rid of your excuses.
Your number one source for all things landscape lighting.
That's where the magic can happen. You can really scale a business.
We really had to show up for each other.
From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
You're a scaredy cat salesman, Kurt.
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What do you think a hippo has to do with your business, Ryan?
Usually it's some weird childhood thing. Some bully kicked your butt.
I think the key factor here is trust.
Here is your host, Ryan Lee.
What is up? Welcome to the number one landscape lighting show in the world. Yeah, we're still going with that. It's Lighting for Profits, powered by Emery Allen. It's going to be a great show today. We got the one, the only Mr. Brandon Miles. If you've been to Landscape Lighting Live, you definitely know who he is. If you haven't, you may not know who he is. So you're going to want to stick around. He's been doing this lighting thing for 27 years. So excited to have him on. He's going to share some of his experiences with us on the show today. And so I'm grateful to have him on the show. He's become a good friend of mine, and he's a great person. He's a great educator. And that's kind of the part of the show, is to help educate and motivate, to help you dominate. So if you're looking to start or grow your landscape lighting business, this is the place to be. All right, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for being here. If you have not done this yet, and even if you have done it yet, go give me a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. I'd really appreciate it. And I want to say this, we talk about like landscape lighting and your business and how to get more reviews and all these different things, right? Well, since I started asking like on the show, hey, please help me out. Guess what? I get more reviews. When I don't ask, people don't think to give reviews. You're busy, you're listening to this while you're working, or maybe you're driving, you don't have time right now, whatever. But I'm going to keep asking, and it's almost like a social experiment that I'm doing live with you guys, right? When I don't ask, I don't get reviews. But magically, when I ask for reviews, I get more reviews. And it's been pretty cool to see. And people are even emailing me saying, hey, I just gave you a 5-star review. And I didn't ask for that, right? So thank you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And yes, I'm begging you, go give me that 5-star review on Spotify or Apple. And it's just cool to see, like, when you actually ask for something, you get it, right? So thank you guys so much for your support. What up? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. If you want to be part of the discussion, just stick around and ask Brandon some tricky questions. Anything that he says can and will be used against him. Yes, that's right. We will put him in the hot seat here. Again, Brandon Miles with Lightscapes. He's out of Florida, and he's going to be a great guest today. 27 years experience in the landscape lighting industry. So, guys, this Thursday, I think it's this Thursday, is it Thursday? Yeah, 2 days from now, June 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern, doing a webinar with lighting boss Ryan Jaso, Luxury Illumination, Greg Matthews. And we're going to be talking about how to add on landscape lighting to your business. It's going to be really good. So even if you're in the lighting industry, I promise you're going to learn something. We got the three of us are going to give a bunch of value away. So hopefully you guys can make it. I'll put the link actually right here in the comments so you guys can check that out. And got that coming up this Thursday. So I got my slides in last week, and we did our test, and we're ready to go. Next month, July 19th through the 21st, I'll be chilling in Cincinnati, Ohio. Who would have thought, right? But Haven Lighting is putting on their first annual Smart Outdoor Conference. They're also doing their grand opening of their new training center. This place is off the hook. It's crazy. I mean, it must have cost a fortune to build out. They're still building it. But I'm going to be speaking there. And, when I speak, I bring the heat, I bring the passion, the energy. We're going to give away some value. I'm going to have my booth there. We're going to hang out for a couple of days. So make sure to come see me at the Haven event. And it's virtually free. They charge like $25 to go. So don't worry. Don't let that hold you back. Just come and hang out. And then lastly, I want to encourage you guys to help me get 100 donations. I'm trying to get 100 donations for my 100th episode for SEVA. And SEVA helps blind people. In fact, 4 out of 5 people that are blind don't need to be blind. All they need is a simple cataract surgery around the world. And in most cases, these can be done for $50, right? So I don't care if you donate $5 or $100, whatever it is, just $5 is going to help. So I'm just looking for 100 donations. We've already had 25 people or something like that donate. So we need some more, right? We need some more donations. And if you have donated, thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. It's a really cool cause. Go to that GoFundMe link. I put it in the comments and read about it, get educated on it. And if you've gotten any value out of the show and you're not going to give me a 5-star review, go donate $5. Go do something good and change the world today. That's what this is all about. We've got the platform to do it. We've got the community to do it. None of us can do it on our own, but if we donate just a little bit here and there, we can do this together. So thank you guys so much for looking into that cause and helping out. Okay, so I want to thank Emery Allen. They're cool. What's up, Tom? Thanks for being here. What sets Emery Allen apart? Well, bulbs aside, they believe customer satisfaction should be the top priority always. Emery Allen goes out of their way to ensure lighting professionals have access to the best light sources built with the highest quality components suited specifically for the landscape lighting industry. At the end of the day, it's what's on the inside that counts. So make sure to take advantage of Emery Allen's world-class customer service and 10% off your first order. All you got to do is email the man, Tom Garber, his email right here, tomg@emeryallen.com. Remember, they offer discounted contractor pricing. Don't waste your time going to their website because then you're going to be like, wait, how much is it? Just email him. His email is tomg@emeryallen.com. He will hook you up with the discounted contractor price. Just mention Lighting for Profits and he'll get your account set up and get you going. All right. So again, guys, in just a couple minutes, we've got Brandon Miles with Lightscapes. If you've been to a landscape lighting live, you definitely know who he is. A lot of people don't know Brandon, so I'm excited to introduce him into the lighting community because he's a total stud and he brings a lot of energy. And the main question I'm going to have for him is, where does he get his drug supply? We've been friends for a long time, but he has never shared with me what drug he's doing to keep that energy flowing. And he's so happy and his energy is contagious. I'm telling you guys. So you don't even need to do drugs when you're with the guy because it's just a good time. But I'm still going to ask him, like, come on, hook me up. Like, we've been friends long enough. Like, let's get to the point here. But before we have him on, I want to just talk about something real quick. Just a few days ago, this last week, Ryan Jaso posted in the Landscape Lighting Mastermind Facebook group. If you're not in that, go to Landscape Lighting Mastermind in Facebook and join that group. But he posted a quick video of Lighting Boss 2.0, and it's a lot of benefits to using his software. But one of the benefits that it can help you with is preparing lighting proposals just very, very quickly, right? And he makes the point that you shouldn't be emailing proposals, unless you're charging a design fee, which also kind of implies, larger projects. And so the question is it okay to email proposals? And I asked that question in his post. It was like, hey, for those of you that are emailing proposals, why? And it wasn't to be a jerk or anything like that. I just legitimately wanted to know, like, why those people that are emailing proposals. What's up, Jeremy? Yes, everyone wants some of these drugs. So I think this is going to turn into just a drug episode. This was not the intent, but it's kind of where it's going to go. But anyway, I asked why email proposals, and here's some of the answers that we got. So number one, clients don't live close. Makes sense. Maybe you don't want to drive back, so just email the proposal. Number two, as a customer, that is what I would want and expect. So, kind of thinking, as a buyer myself, how would I want to react or interact with people? They didn't want someone to just tell them the price in person. They wanted it to be emailed. And then number three, clients are busy, which very true. Clients are super busy. And so they're thinking, well, I'll just email it because they're busy and I don't want to waste their time in person. And number four, don't have time. I don't have time. We're busy. Like I've got to jump to my next appointment. I've got an install. I've got something else, right? Number five, I've always emailed proposals. This is just the way I've done things, right? I mean, I've been emailing proposals forever. So why would I not email proposals? Also decent. Number six, keeps correspondence documented to avoid the "you said this" situation. Also makes sense, because sometimes you say things and then people interpret them differently, and then all of a sudden you tell them, no, that's not under warranty. Well, you said it was, and so that makes sense. Email will have documented correspondence. And then the last one was the closing rate is still high. So, well, my closing rate's high, so why would I not email a proposal, right? So honestly, those are all pretty dang good reasons. So Those were good answers that I thought. But if you do know me, you know I'm not a fan of emailing proposals. And I love the one call close. Okay, closing the deal on the spot, in my opinion, is the only way to go. Now, does this mean I've never emailed a proposal? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I have emailed proposals before. But in fact, I've done lighting jobs where I've never even met a client. There was one guy where I didn't meet not even a house manager, nobody, just a phone call, then an email. And then, he said, go here. I emailed him the proposal. He emailed back the acceptance. We went out and did the job. He still wasn't there. We went and did the walkthrough, still wasn't there. When I call it a walkthrough, but just looking at it, making adjustments, taking pictures. We did the install and got paid. Still to this day, never. I would not know what the guy looks like, right? So can it be done? Absolutely. Okay, that's an extreme. I just shared an extreme example of how you can email proposals and still get the job. And business is not a one size fits all approach. Every scenario, every market, every person, every business is different. However, I do think that there are trends that occur and things that should be looked at and see if we can find some averages and find some better ways to do things, right? In fact, I had an old leader tell me, even if you're right, without any doubt, like this is the right thing. When someone proposes something different, assume that there's a 10% chance that you're wrong, right? And I've tried to do that with pretty much everything in my life. It's like, what if I'm wrong? Like, what if the way I've always thought, the things that I've been taught, the things that I believe, what if I am wrong, right? What if there's a chance, a 1% chance, a 10% chance? What if there's that chance that you're wrong, right? Or not that you're wrong, but what if it could be better, right? And so I do that all the time. I do that when I was reading this Facebook post. I'm like, maybe I should be emailing proposals, right? And a lot of what I talk about, the one call close, closing deals on the spot. I'm referring to what I would consider an average landscape lighting job. So under $20,000, right? And I don't have really hard data on this, but I think the average landscape lighting job is probably $4,000 to $5,000. Might even be lower than that, to be honest. If you just take like all the United States landscape lighting jobs from professionals, I'm just guessing it's between $4,000 and $5,000 just based on the people that I talk to and clients and stuff like that. But it's not science. It's just an opinion. But for the sake of this discussion and really what I teach, let's just say any job under $20,000, right? And honestly, I can't think of a reason to email a proposal under $20,000 because you should be able to close that deal on the spot. Now, if you get up into a larger job where it's $50,000, $60,000, $100,000, and you need more information, you need to go back and forth, whatever. Okay, maybe, all right. But let's review some of the reasons why people are emailing proposals. Number one was clients don't live close. Well, again, like that does suck. You don't want to have to drive back, but that's why the software like Lighting Boss 2.0, that's super nice because you can actually give them the information like right then, and then you don't have to worry about emailing or going back because the clients don't live close. So, in my opinion, like that's a reason why you would not want to email their proposal. It's a reason why you'd want to just close the deal on the spot. The second one was as a customer, that is what I would want and expect, right? And my response to that is a lot of times we do that. We're like, well, we put these things on our clients like, well, I don't want, I don't buy that way. I don't think that way. So I'm going to assume that they're like that. But until you're living in your client's neighborhood, going on trips with them and spending money like they do, we are not our client, right? A lot of these guys make way more money than us. And so their decisions are different than ours. So why would we put that expectation on them? The next one is, what's up? What's up? Thanks for being here. Light on. That's probably James. How you doing, buddy? The next one is clients are busy. So, I mean, that's true. Most of our clients are really busy, but that's one other reason why that's like even more the reason why you should do the one call close. And again, I'm talking about deals under 20,000 because they are busy. And so we want to give them what they want. And most people want to know what the price is. I mean, if you think about it, what's the number one thing people want to know when they call to get a quote on something or even a design, whatever you want to call it? They want to know what it's going to cost. So let's get that price out as soon as possible. The next one is they don't have time. It's like the contractor doesn't have time. And this is a huge problem for a lot of people in not just landscape lighting, but any small business is we get so overwhelmed with time where we're like, Well, I've only got an hour to be with these people because I got to get to the next appointment. And then I got an hour with them. And then I got to get to my install. And then I got to do that service call. And I got to answer the phones. And I got to do invoicing. This is the reason I keep preaching about replacing yourself and going from operator to owner. Okay. What's the next step in replacing yourself? Is it someone to answer the phones? Is it an installer? Is it a salesperson? Is it a general manager, someone to run the business for you? Everyone has a different path, but it kind of depends. But the point is, you've got to replace yourself. You've got to slow down. Why waste your time going to an appointment that you can't give your 100% attention to? Like when I go and meet with someone, I want them to know that no one else exists right now. You are my focus, right? And if it takes me spending an extra 30 to 45 minutes or an hour with them, I want to allot that time on my schedule to be able to answer whatever questions they have, go over everything, put together that proposal, right? Then the next one was I've always emailed proposals, which that makes sense. I mean, I think about all my habits, all the things I've done in my life, and it's like, well, it's just because of the way I do it, right? And it's always worked, right? But what has gotten you here won't necessarily get you to where you want to be, right? And I've fallen into this trap so many times with pricing. I'm like, well, I mean, I sold a lot of jobs with offering one price. Why would I offer multiple options, right? Sales process, marketing, all this stuff, right? Well, there is a better way. Assume that there's a 1%, a 10% chance that you can get better, right? The next one, keeps correspondence documented to avoid the you said this situation. Well, that's exactly why closing in person with documentation, like the Lighting Boss 2.0, something like that, is actually better than avoiding that, unnecessary back and forth that just adds clutter to the confusion. So I want to make sure I give my client all the information they need to make an educated decision right then and there. And then the last one, my closing rate is still high. And this is kind of going back to the one before or two before, where it's like, I've always done it this way and it works. Well, just because something works doesn't mean it couldn't get better. What if you could squeeze out one extra sale per week? What would that do for your business? Okay, if your average job is $5,000 and you're profiting $1,000 on that, 20%, what would an extra one deal a week mean for your business over 52 weeks? That's $52,000 in profit that you don't have today just because you were able to squeeze out one extra deal, right? And so the only reason I'm just a super fan of closing the deal on the spot, right? But the only reason is if you don't know what light you're going to use or what it will cost for X, then, maybe you can't close the deal on the spot. Maybe you do have to email them something, right? But even then, I'm like, just close the deal. Close the deal at what you know and tell them you're going to figure out the cost of X and get back to them, right? But you can at least close it at a certain spot. Now, if we're talking about a bigger deal, $50,000 or $100,000 or something like that, that's not a one call close situation, although it's definitely possible. One time, I had a job where it was a $100,000 proposal. Now, it wasn't a one call close exactly because I met with him. I went to the property, wrote down all my notes, took pictures, put together the proposal. But instead of emailing it, I went and met with him in person. And 45 minutes later, I closed a $100,000 job. That was the biggest one call close I'd ever done. It was $100,000. He didn't really care too much about stuff. Obviously, 45 minutes making a $100,000 decision. But we had also done some things that we teach about, like the price marinade and triple option and some little cool tactics and stuff like that. But 45 minutes later, I was walking away with a $50,000 check in hand for the deposit. So you can do this with any size deals. Sometimes it might require multiple trips, but if it's a small deal and your client lives too far away, or you're too busy, or they're too busy, or all these other reasons, then just close the deal on the spot. That way you don't have to email a proposal anyway. So as you guys can really tell, I don't have an opinion on the matter. So you guys do what you want, but those are just the things I wanted to break down, and I wanted to give you my take on it. And to be fair, I've lost jobs emailing proposals. I've lost jobs even presenting in person. So there's not a perfect process either way, but I like closing in person because then I at least know that I gave it my all. I know I had the opportunity to answer questions and clear up any concerns that they may have, where you know what it's like when you email someone something and then they ghost you. There's nothing worse than that. It's like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, did they go with someone else? Why didn't they go with me? I could have done this. I could have changed this. We could have done the design differently, taken this out, phased it in, whatever. So in person, I would highly, highly encourage you, try it out, see if it works for you. All right, guys, it is time to welcome our guest, Mr. Brandon Miles. Let's get the music going and see if we can figure out how to get him on. If you guys are ready, let me know in the comments. There he is, Mr. Brandon Miles. What's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody! All right, it's time to get crazy with Landscape Lighting for Profits. How's everybody doing? Yes, I'm full of energy. No coffee intended. No needed for coffee. How's everybody doing? It's good to be here.
The only reason we're doing this is so I can find out what drugs you do. So should we just start with that?
It's just
Please
high
tell
on
me.
life, man. Love the business. Got great passion for what I do. Been doing it for a long time. It's just second nature. And, honestly, it's the people, man. I love people. I love the different avenues I go down with each client. Each potential client that I have. I really like digging into their personal life and get to know them on a different level than most salespeople would do. And I share a lot of my interesting parts of my life with them. And I always try to just fill people out, get their energy level. And if they don't have a lot of energy, well, guess what? By the time I leave, they will have some energy.
I love it, man. They say to like kind of mirror people and, match their energy and stuff, but I'm sure you've never matched their energy. You're always upping it and you're getting them excited.
What? I will test the water, fill them out, but I'm always going to let them know that they're in for something special with what I'm going to offer and with what I'm going to give them. And it's contagious. I believe it's infectious and contagious. When you're ready to explode onto the market and start doing things where that you're about to give someone something that's going to blow their mind. And it goes back to how am I going to wow these people, right? And I want to wow them with me because I want to wow them with me and my personality. I want to wow them with what I'm about to offer them. But I'm going to give them a promise that they can't believe happened. Like a lot of people say, listen, I've worked with this contractor and this contractor. I've had this problem. With you, it was smooth sailing the whole time. You did more than what you said you would do. And it was the greatest experience of my life. And it was just simply putting some lights in. But to have that comment back from them, that exhilarates me to just wow them. I have to wow them. And I got to wow them with excellence. I have to wow them with keeping your word and delivering more than they even thought you could give them. And I enjoy that. It's a challenge for me also because I'm already putting myself out there and I'm putting myself on the very tiny little branches. So I have to deliver because I'm expecting that they're expecting me. That sounds funny to deliver what I'm saying, and I will deliver and above and beyond what they're expecting. But that's something I kind of challenge even my guys that I work with, my employees. I want them to have that same energy. I want them to have that same, hey, did you see this? Did you see this while you're there? Did you fix this for them? Did you go out of your way and make sure this was done? This was clean. And one of the things we do when we're walking our properties, I will point out, hey, we're going to fix this for them. We're going to do this over here for them. They're probably not expecting it. And my guy, I have one guy, he's always like, why are we doing that? Like, why? They're not paying us to do that. I'm like, because we're going to wow them, because that's what I want to do. And that's what you're going to do to wow them. And then what happens? The guy gets the compliment. Wow, you did such an amazing job. I can't believe you fixed this and you did that. And, oh, you trimmed that so nicely or whatever it may be. Besides the lights blowing their mind, your personality, what you're going to offer them. There's a lot more to this business than just putting lights in the ground. So I like to bring that to the table. And especially with my employees, I want them to get everything out of this besides a paycheck. Everyone can make a paycheck. It's the experience and it's the feeling you get when you really satisfy someone and you blow their mind. It's infectious, and my guys get that now. They never got it before, but more they do it, the more like, wow, to get those compliments and to receive compliments from someone who was a stranger a week ago And now you're blowing their mind. And now they're telling their friends, their neighbors, their cousins, their aunts, their uncles, their brother, their sister, you got to get this guy. I'm telling you, this is going to be an amazing experience. You got to get this guy. It's
All right,
not
so
about the lights. It's
let's
just
unpack
something
this. Let's unpack this a little bit, because you have this high passion for lighting. You got this high passion for life. You've got this attitude of excellence. You've had this business 27 years, which congratulations, by the way. I mean, most businesses don't make it 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 27, dude. That's freaking awesome. So I love you for that. And the more I get to know you, I'm like, damn, like he did it kind of the hard way. So it's because of this passion. Where did that come from? Where did you get this desire for excellence? Where did you get this passion from?
You know, honestly, I say this to everyone. When I was growing up, I had 4 older brothers, and my older brothers were constantly, as the youngest brother, you know, I was always getting picked on by them, bullied by them. And it was something inside me that's like, oh yeah, you think you're great at what you do? Wait till I do it. And so that I was a big athlete growing up in high school and college. And I wrestled and I played football, and I started both those sports when I was 7 years old, and I did them until college, all through college. And it just was a drive. So it wasn't just the season, it was the year-long drive to be excellent. And to be in such a high competitive sport, I did not want to just be there. I wanted to overachieve and become an overachiever. I wanted to give a wow to my coach. I wanted to give a wow to the people in the stands. I wanted to give a wow to the people in the my buddies in the locker room, you know, like, hey, listen, you know, just because that team's a state championship team, that doesn't mean they're going to beat us. We're going to beat them because we're great and we're going to practice this greatness. So one of the things that I believe in is a lot of people say, well, practice what you preach. Well, it's perfect practice what you preach. Be perfect in everything that you do and practice that perfection. And then that way that will bleed into, that's just, I don't know any other way of doing it. And so being in such a high competitive lifestyle when I was younger with the athletics, it just drove me to be excellent. And I wanted to be excellent in everything. So I knew the preparation that was needed to be excellent. I knew it wasn't just going over plays. It wasn't just going through practice. It was learning everything, every nuance, every fallacy that I could pick up from watching film or watching any type of plays that I knew that this person had a certain tendency, or this wrestler had a certain tendency to do this. I just studied a lot. I studied the other person so much that I'm like, okay, I've seen flaws. I know how I can beat this person, or I know how we can win this position. And that just has been a driving force in my life. I just want to be great at everything I do. And there is some OCD with that. But with me, it's OCD EFG, because it's way over the top. It's way over the top. So, and it can be a detriment to a lot of people. I probably drive my girlfriend crazy because I'm so OCD, but in the long run.
By the way, we're making shirts with that. I just made the executive decision. We're making OCD EFG. Love it.
So yeah, so that's a big part of the passion, is just wanting to be great at everything I do. You know, I just don't want to leave any stone unturned.
Yeah, it's cool. And I totally see that from your childhood through being an athlete. I think that's what it takes as a business owner, as an artist, as a craftsman, however you identify, whatever you identify as. We could be really good at lighting design, but that doesn't mean we're going to be a great business owner. We can be really good at like the best technician, the best install techniques, but that doesn't mean we're going to be the best business owner. We have to be good at everything. We have to be good at the business side. We have to be good at the small stuff, like you said, like picking up trash and doing something extra and all those types of things. That's why I'm like so proud of you. What you've done is like, man, 27 years, you've got to be doing something right. And I think it's those extracurriculars. I think it's that pursuit of excellence. And you said like,
Ryan,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was saying,
so I was just saying,
I like excellence because perfection, that's going to put me in like marriage therapy. We're going to have to go through counseling and stuff like that. But I can strive for excellence. If I try to be perfect, then, or expect perfection out of others, I think I'm going to end up in counseling and possibly divorced.
And I guess it can bring some disappointment too. Not everyone's going to be you, and in replacing myself. And listen, let me just say this to everybody out there. I took Ryan's course, and I'd been in the business already 25 years before I took his course. And I learned so much because I had went down so many rabbit holes and there was no rabbits. And I learned a long way to get there. And then after taking Ryan's course, I found so many things like, why was I doing that? And why was I doing that? And why did I do that? So did I waste time? Possibly, if you want to look at it that way. I just say, okay, I got more experience at doing something the wrong way. But I did learn so much about, okay, yeah, I was doing some things really right. And then I was doing things not necessarily really wrong, just the hard way. And I didn't need to work that hard with that much effort if I was just a little bit smarter. And for someone just getting in the business, wow, like it's going to be a long time to get where I am. And I'm still learning every day. And I always want to learn something new every day. I never want to stop learning. I never want to be the smartest guy in the room, ever. That's never going to happen anyway. But easy fun. But I do really want to tell everyone out there, man, listen, gosh, there's so much to do. Like I could simply say, like, for instance, raising our prices. This is something I was talking about. We did Landscape Lighting Live in Utah, and I was talking to some of the guys. I'm like, hey, since June, I've raised my prices 3 times. Well, guess what? Since June, I've raised my prices 4 times now. And amazingly,
in the last 12 months, June of last year.
June of last year. So to this time last year, I've raised my prices 4 times. And no one has batted an eye. Not one person has said, "Oh my gosh, right now." It's because the way the economy is, everything costs more. And even some, like I had a customer, for instance, I did their dock last week, and I had done 2 houses prior to that and 2 other docks for him. And when I gave him the proposal, it was a lot more than what they were expecting. But they knew my work. They knew what they expected what I was going to give them prior. So they didn't really question it. But to me, inside my head, I didn't want to say anything. But my head was like, I can't believe I just came across the table at this price, and they accepted it without any go-to. Like, oh, well, Brandon, like last year you gave us this price at this much. No, they didn't say that. They just expected it because of the way the economy is right now. I had it on the last 2 jobs. After I had the price set in my head where I needed to make, what I was going to make off the job, I just said, well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and add another $1,500 on. I'm just going to add another $1,500 just for the heck of it. And they cut me a check and there was no problem. But when I raise prices on everything. So all my service, all my product I sell during service, all my lights I sell, every different light I've just had to add on to. And I'm probably going to do another one, probably another 3 months. I was just saying this. I have a couple storage units I use. One's personal, one's for business. And they've raised my price. They raise prices every 3 months on this storage unit. And, even me, I got caught in the same thing. I walked in like, how much you raising it? And it was like only maybe $5 or $10. But I was like, okay. It was like, $5 or $10. No big deal. I'm sure with all the storage units that they have there on that facility, they're probably making a nice profit by raising every 3 months, $5 or $10 the unit per month. Wasn't a big deal to me, but I didn't even question. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll pay it because I'm not moving my stuff.
Exactly. They can actually double the price and keep you in there.
Right. Exactly. So
just
like you said, with the economy the way it is, and with everyone raising their prices, cars are more expensive, gas is more expensive, eggs are more expensive, bread's more expensive, shoes are more expensive, everything's more expensive. So I just think it's something you have to do. I mean, in Ryan's course that I didn't really pay attention, and I've been there a few times, and the one thing
you didn't pay attention.
I take that back. I didn't pay attention to how much just $25 can change per unit. Just $25 per unit can change. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but that adds up when you're selling 1,000 units in a year or more. So, or 10,000 units. So that $25 is a minimal increase, minimal. But what you get from it is another $150,000 a year easily or more, depending on how many units you're moving. And I didn't really realize that until I saw Ryan break down these numbers. We were in Utah, and I'm like, gosh, man, have I really, without thinking about it, have I really made that much profit instantly from doing that? And I have. And it's amazing. And I know you preach that as part as one of the things in your course, and it's true, guys. I can't tell you how much you need to raise your prices. And the clientele that we're dealing with, $25 is nothing to them per unit. Even like I said, I have customers. One customer, I just finished their job. It's the 5th house I did for them, and they're like, "Brandon, are you going to give us a discount on the price because it's our 5th house we've done with you?" And I said, I'm going to give you the best deal I can give you, but it's going to be a little bit more because product costs more now. Copper's higher. The product we lose it's a higher quality product. So I'm going to give you a great deal, but it's still going to be more than you paid before. And it was. And you know what? They know how I'm going to deliver and what I'm going to deliver. So did they, raise an eyebrow a little bit, but did they pay me? Yeah. It is what it is.
Well, and that's the biggest thing. Well, actually, Greg, what was that? Oh, we're supposed to do?
I had to make some sound effects. The only thing I can find was a bell.
When I say something cool, will you ding the bell for me? And then when you say something cool, I'll do the high tech.
There you go.
All right. Greg said he's willing to hire you right now before your prices go up again. So go close that deal.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, how are you? It's good to talk to you.
Okay. So here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Just because someone asks for a deal doesn't mean that you have to give them a deal or that they even need the deal. They just want a deal. I ask everybody for a deal. Like if someone will give me, $100 off, I'll take it. Right. But if I ask and they say no, normally I'm not like, oh, okay, well now I'm not going to move forward. It's just like, oh crap, I could have saved $100 and I didn't. So I'm still going to move forward. So a lot of people, when you're negotiating, someone will say, hey, could you do it? Could you give us that discount? We've done the 5 houses. Yeah. I could. I'll do. How about if I do 500 off? You just lost $500, and you think, well, it's not that big of a deal. They've given me 5 houses. They've given me referrals. That $500 is your profit. That is you. We're not operating nonprofit businesses here or organizations. These are businesses. We need to make tons of money because what if tomorrow it rains? What if tomorrow your employees don't show up? What if tomorrow doesn't happen like you plan for it, right? And so you have to plan for these things. What if tomorrow you decide to hire your replacement and start listening, right? In fact, shout out to James. He said he's still looking for that unicorn. So if you guys want to go live in Turks and Caicos, just email James at islandvillalighting.com and go take an opportunity. I'm not even kidding. But James has been doing this business a long time too. I don't know how many years, but he's starting to see, okay, well, at some point you get older, you can't do everything. And so how cool would that be to replace yourself, right? And so you have to be able to afford your replacement first off. So if you are charging whatever you're charging, add an extra $25, add an extra $50, a fixture, whatever it is. The average lighting company, again, this is not science. I feel like it's fairly easy for someone to get to a few $100,000 in sales. So that's about 1,000 lights that they'll install over a year. If they raise their price by just $50 a light, they're going to walk away with an extra $50,000 in profit. They don't even have to do anything else. They don't have to hire any more people, buy any more trucks. I mean, that's the first step, is just raising your price. So I'm glad you've done it. I'm glad you continue to do it because you got to make up. See, you didn't raise your price for 24 years. So now you got to make up for that, right?
That's right. That's right. I did raise prices, but not in those increments that fast.
Right.
It was always a yearly increase. Like every year I increase it, minutely. But now I'm just so bold with, like I said, I didn't have this until I took your course. I'm like, you know what? Why not? It's just, everything just made so much sense to me. I was like, why am I worried about hurting the customer's feeling, asking for more money? I know what I'm delivering. If I'm going to walk in with a complete excellence at whatever I do, I'm worth it. And I believe that they understand that. And if the new client who doesn't know me, and I may be competing with 3 other guys, when I'm out there, I'm making it a point. I'm not leaving that job site. I'm not leaving that bid that on the table to have someone else steal it from me. I'm getting that now because I know what I'm going to deliver them.
So let's talk about that. Let's transition from pricing to sales. Oh, sorry. You're the first one to ever come with your own sound effects on the show. So congratulations.
I love it.
I just said that.
That's how you wow. You got to wow. How do you wow?
Well, I think, some of the stuff that we talk about, raising your price and different techniques and closing on the spot, they're all good. But I honestly think your attitude, which I've been preaching this to my kids lately, your attitude is the one thing you have control of. I can't control if the mood you're in right now. I can't control if you yell at me. I can't control if you just end the show right now. Can't control if you're going to really buy lights or anything like that. But I can control my attitude. And that is something I think is so magical that you have that a lot of people just don't have. And I don't know if it's just you wake up like that, or if it's a mental thing, like, you know what, I'm in a shitty mood, but I'm gonna be happy today. I don't know. Like, I'm sure you have bad days like anybody else, but every time I'm around you, I mean, you're like 100% on. It's not like, oh man, something's up. Like, you're always on. And I would buy
there's
anything
a
from you.
lot of little things like, I truly believe in peace, love, and joy. And to have peace, you have to look for it in the way that I look for it, is through my faith. And then love, by loving others. I love everyone, man. I try to spread love. And I mean that in a sincere way, like, just be a good friend, be a good man, be a good partner, be a good father, and show that true love. And then through those two equate to joy, and you have joy in your life. And that's what I have, is what you're seeing is just joy. And my energy is joy. And, I do a little meditating. I like to spend time in the gym, and those are things that give me peace and joy also, because I'm doing something for myself. So taking care of my body, my mind, my spirit, that's a big part of having that energy and having that joy. And you know what? I really do a lot of reading and studying things. And I believe, there's a saying, can your thoughts make you sick? Yes. Can your thoughts make you happy? Yes. Right. So if my normal aura energy is 3 meters, then I expect my energy is going to be 9 meters of aura. I'm going to infect as many people as I can around me, and then the people stand behind them.
It's more,
So,
it's not 9 meters.
I think that's
It's
a big
like 90 meters.
Yeah. That's what I want. And then when I come out to my job sites, I'm not like jumping up and down, but I'm letting them know, hey, this is exciting, man. What we're about to do to your house is going to blow your mind. Like, you've got to understand, we're going to turn this into another Disney park attraction. We're going to make this so that when you're walking your backyard, you don't want to go anywhere else. You don't need to spend money on that vacation, because now you can go in your backyard and you already have a vacation going on. Or when you pull up to the house, you work so hard for your money and you bought this gorgeous house and you're the envy of the neighbors. Wait till you put these lights on it. Could you imagine what every person drives by is going to think of your house? Can't you feel that excitement? Don't you want to drive up every day and go, wow, look at my house I worked so hard for? And it's just putting the icing on the cake. I mean, cake is great, but icing makes the difference.
Love it. So you've got this attitude, you've got this mindset. Let's talk about, like, so what is your goal? You go in there, you're getting them excited, and it's real passion. It's not, it's not fake. Like, one of the things I say is, people need landscape lighting from you today. They need landscape lighting. They need it from you, and they need it from you today. Before I even came up with that, before I even told you that, you've already been thinking that. You've been thinking that for years, for 27 years, probably. What's your goal at the end of the meeting?
My whole goal is, like, I'm going to get my deposit check. That's my goal.
Okay.
I'm going to get a date set, my deposit check. And you were talking about emailing proposals and things like that. So what I do is, when I'm out there, after and typically I'll set up and pre-qualify everyone. And then I know I'm going out and I'm going to bring my Showtime closer, which is my demo kit. I'm going to set it up and I'm going to wow them with a lot of lights. Now, they may not need that many lights, but I want to put so much light on that they are looking at us going, we didn't even know this was possible. And then,
is this every job you'll do a demo?
Yeah, I pretty much, unless they're, I wouldn't say every job, because let me take that back. There are certain clients that I have that I've done their homes already. Okay. And they may just say, Brandon, come out and take a walk with the property. I'll go with what you recommend. I know what you're going to do. You're going to do it right. But even then, if they have questions, I'll still show them some lights. Like, I don't have a problem coming out and doing a demo for you. But I try I really like doing demos.
If you got a referral today, you'd go do the demo. And the one thing you mentioned was because you're showing them what's possible, right?
Right.
You're showing them the full potential of.
I mean, it really makes a big difference for me. I think it's just so much easier to close the deal and ask for a check after they've seen that. So I'll give them a handwritten proposal. and I do price marinate. I do price marinate as soon as I show up, because I always get, well, what do you think something like this is going to cost? And I'm going to go really higher than I know it's going to be, because after I put everything together, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to save you a few bucks. It's not as high as I thought it would. And right there, they're like, well, I'm already saving money. I already put it in their head that they're saving money now. And say I think as I show up, I'm like, this is probably a $40,000 job. I'm going to say it's going to be 45, and so I'll tell them it's probably going to be 48,000. And then I'll put the proposals together, and it came in at 40,000 or 45 or whatever, and it's still less than what I first said, what I thought it was going to be. And now they're already thinking, wow, this guy's actually working to save me some money. And I'm not giving things away. I don't like giving discounts. I don't like giving money off. I'd rather give a fixture or some type of, trinket, if you will, of something, that I know is going to save me money and time on the job. In other words, is it easier for me to throw in an extra 150 watt transformer to save me running wire halfway around a house, So I'm going to say, let me throw this transformer in for you, because it's going to save me a roll of wire. It's going to save me my guys out there for 2 hours burying wire. So to me, that time in management for a simple transformer. So I'll throw that in, and they don't know what that transfer costs. So I've given the proposal, right? So when they look at that transfer that cost me maybe, and this is, let's just hypothetically say that transfer cost me $200, and I'm selling that for $550. I just gave them $550 off without taking a dollar out of my pocket, and just save me money on that installation.
Yeah, cool.
So
okay,
that's one thing. But getting back to what you're saying about my bottom line. My bottom line is I want to have them shake a hand, say we trust you, and I want a deposit before I walk off the property. Now, I will invoice them through email. I will give them a final invoice, because my handwriting's terrible. So when I'm writing my proposal together, they're going to get a paper copy of my proposal. They're going to get a little design of what I've done, and then I'm going to get their check. And then when everything's said and done, I will email them a final invoice.
What if someone says to you, well, thanks, Brandon. We really appreciate you coming out, but we want to get some other bids, and we want to think about it.
Oh, what's to think about? What's to think about? I've literally given you the best product, the best price, with the best installation. I know you need the lights. I know you want them. You wouldn't have called me if you didn't want them. So what's holding them up? What can we do right now? What can I do to make you say, let's go? What is it? What's the big holdup?
Nice. So you're willing to get the police called and get a restraining order. That's what
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I bring a sleeping bag, and a lot of times I'll just sit on the front porch and
that's actually a good idea.
Ring my bell. I do that every once in a while.
That's a really good idea. Say no worries. You guys take
camp out on the front porch or the front yard.
Yeah. I'll be in my sleeping bag. But sooner than later would be ideal.
Yeah.
Exactly. What the thing I like about it is you're willing to talk through it and say, what is your holdup? Like, what is it? Because a lot of times it's not. It is the money. Like that's why. If it was free, they'd be like, yeah, let's do it. But it's the money. But it's not the money in the way that we think. They just don't understand the value of it. That there's some confusion, and we just have to be the bridge to that gap. There's something that we know. There's something that they think they know, and we have to figure out what the difference is. And when we bridge that gap, it's like, well, now they know what we know, and if they knew what we knew, of course they'd move forward. And so it's just asking a series of questions and drilling down to find out. And you're doing them a disservice if you don't. If you just leave and say, no worries, I'll email it to you. You guys get back to me whenever.
If you walk away with that,
and who are they going to go with?
They're going to go with somebody else. They're going to go with someone. And listen, it's not about being the most expensive, the least expensive, or giving away or discounting it so that, it's just a numbers game. You really have to believe when you're out there that I'm going to give you something that is going to blow your mind. I'm going to give you excellence in every way. And if I do not deliver, and if I do not guarantee everything I've given, then you know what? Don't pay me. Don't pay me. And I've literally said that sometimes, and people are like, what? Don't pay you. I'm like, No, I'm just kidding. You're going to pay me, but I know. But I want you to understand that you will not have any complaints. You're really going to be blown away. There's no opportunity greater than now to get this done. Save the time, save the effort. You're going to have 4 other guys come out here and give you a bid and give you the whole shindig, and they're going to sit there and then try to wine and dine you with what I'm going to give you right now, which is the best product, the best service, the best installation, the best time. You're going to really enjoy what you're doing, and you're going to have something that is going to blow your neighbor's mind. Well, let's do this now. Why wait? Let's get it now.
I love it. I'm going to start using that. If you don't like it, don't pay me. Really? Don't pay you? No, I'm kidding. Are you like, who are you? Am I crazy? I'm a business.
Of course you're going to pay me.
30-day money back guarantee, except there's no 30-day money back guarantee. You're going to pay me regardless.
That's it. That's it.
And the thing is, like, guys like you are too busy. You're one of the reasons why people were emailing us, because they were just too busy. Well, that's the whole point of closing on the spot, because you don't have time to follow up. You don't have time to go back and put together detailed proposals and email. And then even if they did have a question, now you still have to answer that question. There's the back and forth on the phone and emails and stuff like that. So I truly believe that really doesn't matter what size business you are, as long as the deal, like, again, if you went to a job today and you're like, crap, it's like 300 lights, that's hard to do in one night. Like, you got to take notes and stuff like that, but you'd still go back those multiple visits and then close the deal in person.
That's exactly correct. So yeah, I'm going to spend, and listen, I'm going to tell you, on a job, something like that's big or that much money, you're going to want to go back a few times for several reasons. One, because you want to take pictures. You want to find out all the problems that could exist with the installation. You're going to want to make sure that the customers know you're coming out several times. They're going to see that effort you're putting in to the work of, wow, this guy's been out to my house 3 times. He's walked the property. He's done a showtime close for me. He's done a demo, whatever, a nighttime demo. He's told me already that, he's given me his background. He's shown me pictures. He's given me his information, that all about him, and that I could research him. And I've seen his house. I've seen the work he's done in the neighborhood, and then you're out there several times on a big job, especially a job like that. There was a Vinoy hotel that we did, and I was out there several times with that. But the owners were there one time, which were the Glaziers, who owned the Buccaneers, and they owned Manchester United. And I got to meet them, but they were out there when I was out there walking through, and like, who's this guy? And then I got to meet him, like, listen, I just want to make sure we're doing everything exactly what you want. I want to deliver bigly for you. And that goes a long way, that this guy, and then their guy's like, hey, this guy's been there like 4 times. They didn't put a light in yet. He just wants to make sure he's done and doing things right. So you don't maybe have to be that extreme, but it's not going to hurt to be out there a couple times, and then you will go back out to get the check. You will go back out to get that deposit check. And if it's a corporate, you're going to get a check no matter what. You're going to get a check for something, because you're not starting a job until I get a deposit. And
all right, do you care if we give away some money real quick? Do you care? Do you care if we give away some money? Don't worry, we're not giving away your money. I want to give away some money. We're going to play a game, and unless you got some money to give away, yeah. Hey, okay, we're going to play a game right now. Let's get it going. Gift card giveaway.
Gift card giveaway.
It's gift card giveaway. It's your chance to win $50. So, Brandon, you cannot answer this. If no one gets it right, then you can answer it. But if you're here live, this is your chance to win $50. We're just going to give you free money for answering the question correctly. Again, the only rule is it has to be what I think is the correct answer. It very may well be the correct answer, according to you and everybody else in the lighting community. But I'm the only judge here. So here's the question. If you get it right, we'll hook you up with a free gift card. So we're talking ingress protection, IP. So here's the question. In order for a fixture to be dust tight and water resistant, and when I say water resistant, I'm meaning not waterproof as in submersible, but it is water resistant, meaning water can hit it with jets. What level of IP must it be? And Brian Grote is already putting down answers before I even finish the question. It's kind of like Family Feud. I should just shut off the question before they start to put it in. So Again, the answer is not underwater. It is water resistant, not submersible. And the only other rule is that it has to be what I think is the correct answer. So we got a lot of answers coming in here that are good answers. And I'm not going to say who's right or who's wrong yet, but I'm probably going to get some flack for this one. Someone's going to find the thing, but the only asterisk is I'm the only judge here. So the answer that I'm looking for is whoever Facebook user is. We got like 10 of them. Whoever wrote this IP66, and I'm using the IEC chart, and IEC came up with the IP ratings. The first number is about solids and dust and stuff like that. So that's where we're getting the 6 from. And then the second number, the 66, is power protected against powerful water jets. So you could have like sprinklers, pressure washers, things like that. But the next level, 67, is when you actually get underwater. And 67 is, I think, up to a few feet or something like that. But anyway, congratulations. I don't know who that is. Oh, I think it's Brian Dank. Man, this is like your third or fourth time winning. So we will hook you up, man. That's awesome. Everyone else is almost right. So thank you guys for playing another round of gift card giveaway. All right, let's get back to the show, Brandon. It's good to know the difference between these levels, because if you grabbed a fixture and you think, oh, it says IP66, that's rated to be under, for water and everything else, you put it in as a submersible, it's not rated for that. So make sure you guys know what application you're using these fixtures for. But I thought it was cool, as I was reading up on this before the show, these different levels, like just because it's not IP66, let's say it's 65, 64, 63, it can still get wet. So that's pretty interesting. It just has to do with how the water is getting in. So like 61 is like vertical drops of water. And then the 62 is like at 15 degrees. And then the next one's 60 degrees. And then there's, different any direction and stuff like that. So you can have a IP64 fixture out getting wet. It just depends on what type of wet it's getting. Is it a sprinkler hitting it, or is it just going to get moisture in the room next to it every once in a while, whatever. So make sure you study up on ingress protection. All right, Brandon, let's get back into the interview as we, what's up?
That's good information to have. It's great for, your installers to understand that, especially with path lights, with uncovered path lights, whether they're integrated or drop in.
Yeah, it's important.
Because,
you during the day, you're like, well, it's not going to go underwater or anything like that. And then all of a sudden a sprinkler pops up and is hitting that directly. And then you go fight it with the manufacturer and say, well, this should be under warranty. And then you find out it's IP64 and you thought it was IP66 or whatever the case may be. Right. So definitely important, good stuff to know. Let's get back in talking about you. You talk about like peace, love, joy. And I love it because one of the things that I want to help business owners with is work on their health, wealth, and happiness. It's easy, I feel like, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, to always be focused on the wealth and like, how do we make more money? How do we do this? But when I say it's easy, it's not. That's why I have a coaching program, because we're talking about increasing your revenues and your profits and stuff like that. But it's easy for us to check the box and say, well, what? I'm working on my wealth because I work in my business 12 hours a day or whatever it is, right? Happiness and health seem to get pushed to the side. I feel like you are, it doesn't get pushed to the side. You meditate, you've got this joy. Am I right? Like, is your weakest one health, or what's the weak one of you for health, wealth, and happiness?
Man, no, I'm going to go 50-50-50.
Yeah. 50-50.
All
right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right?
Language. Yes,
No,
I love
in other words, no, I think they're all equal to me. Each one camelbacks on wealth. Listen, I know a lot of wealthy people that aren't happy. And I know a lot of people that put so much stress on their wealth that they're actually made themselves sick, stress monsters, if you will. So if you're comfortable being comfortable, and what I mean by that is it enough for today? Because there's no guarantee for tomorrow. It's great to continue to have goals. I wouldn't be where I was or am today without goals, and I wouldn't have been the athlete that I was without having great goals. But I never made myself sick about it. I just knew the work I had to put in, and I realized for me to do this much work, this is going to help me achieve this level. And then if I get to that level, then I'm going to have to work on this level next. And so peace, I get great peace from being content. Like, how's your day today? How are you feel today? How's your life? How are, like, for me, like my kids, like I used to worry so much with having my kids when they're young. My kids are adults now, but when they were young, it was constantly like, are they happy? Are they not being bullied in school? Are they doing the things that they should be doing right? Are they being kind people? Are they saying please and thank you? Are they grateful for what they have? My son used to say this to me, he goes, be grateful for what you have today, right? Because you don't know if you can have that tomorrow. And it's very true, because if you just live in thankfulness today, man, life's a lot easier. So I'm just thankful to have health. I'm thankful for the little things in life that give me, like, just being able to be, listen, I know a lot of people just can't walk without pain. I try to eat well. I try to get my exercise in. I try to stay away from harmful things like alcohol and smoking and drugs and all those things. So I take great pride in loving my body. And I don't mean that in that way that, you think it is.
Hold on.
But no, just cherishing the gift that I have of great health. But I put work into that. It's not because I woke up and I'm healthy today. I strive to be healthy by what I eat, take my vitamins, and stay away from things that just poison your body and poison your mind. There's a lot of people.
Are you still working out more after the last Landscape Lighting Live Utah?
Yeah, I'm still working out the same.
Well,
I do. Here's the thing. No, so Ryan actually motivated me with his push-up challenge. So Ryan was talking in one of his courses about, I've been doing 100 push-ups every day. And I was
115.
Like, well, now it's 115, but it was 100. So
it was 100. Yeah.
I'm like, that's a lot of push-ups a day, right? And I'm like, is that in the morning? Is that in the afternoon? Is that, it's whenever you can get them in, I suppose. But so I go to the gym, but the one thing I wanted to work on was like my abs. So I was like, I'm gonna start doing 100 abs every day. I don't care how I'm doing them. I'm just gonna do them every day. Somehow, some way, I'm doing 100 abs. Whether it's in some, you may not get to the gym that day, but you can do 100 setups any day of the week somewhere, in your bedroom or in the living room, wherever, and just get on the floor and start doing some crunches. So that's my new challenge that Ryan gave me, is like, hey, 100 abs a day, 100 push-ups. So I noticed Ryan's buff body. That's what brought it up. I was like, hey, Ryan's been working out. But then he just realized it was just push-ups.
Yeah, it's just push-ups. And I started with 20 push-ups a year ago, 20 a day. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I think I could do 21, and then 22 and 23. And now I'm paused. I made it to 115 and I'm kind of paused. But it's funny you mentioned the abs, because I just mentioned to Lindsay, I'm like, I think I'm going to introduce now the next thing. And I've found that sometimes it's like with business, I'm like, go both feet in and like just go hard or whatever. But sometimes that's not always the right way, like into business or into like working out. Like, I've tried to go to the gym and work out really hard, and then I can't walk for 3 weeks. It's like, okay, maybe that was a mistake. So I'm trying this new strategy. It's inspired by the book Atomic Habits, where you just get 1% better every day. And it's okay also if you miss, like, get 1% better every day. And it's okay if you miss, not okay. Like, well, if it's, I'm going to bed, I know I should do this, I'll just miss. But like, there's been days where I forgot. I literally just forgot. And instead of beating yourself up and like, oh my gosh, I can't recover from this, and I'm going to make up for it the next day by doing double. It's not about that. It's about, you know what? I screwed up. I messed up. I'm going to start fresh again today. I'm going to do the thing. And the rule is just never miss more than once. And when you start to do these things, your mind gets conditioned to just tell yourself, like, some days have been so busy where I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, it's 11 o'clock at night. In fact, at Landscape Lighting Live, Chris freaking Applestott we were out at the house in, we were like 30 minutes away from everywhere. It was like 11:30 at night. He's like, "Hey, did you get your push-ups in?" And I'm like, "What? Why would you remind me right now?" Like, so I had to go do them, and I hadn't crossed my mind because I'd been talking for like 14 hours that day or whatever. It'd been crazy. So I came home and it was actually past midnight. I was working on my slides for that morning. It was 12:30 and I was like, mother F, I got to do my freaking push-ups now. And the thing that I do appreciate about it, even though I complain, is the accountability. So share your goals with people, because if I wouldn't have shared that and he would have known, I wouldn't have done my push-ups that day, because he wouldn't have known that it was a goal of mine,
Yeah, that's great, Ryan, because that can be a little detail in everyone's life. It's not just so much doing the push-ups or the setups, but it's every day set a tiny little goal that you want to achieve. When business, especially running your business, I mean, I really cannot tell people how much I learned from the year that you were kind of mentoring me in this business. Just like, a lot of little details that I didn't pay attention to that made a huge difference. It's just a little bit every day, trying a little bit every day to be a better business person. And, that was probably my biggest flaw in this business in 27 years was I was never the best business person ever. I can admit that. But I was great at sales. I was great at installations. I was great at follow-up. I was great at service. So what my weakness was running a business, and that was the part that I realized, wow, I'm really missing the boat on a lot of things. And to this day, I'm still working on that, increasing, getting a better website, getting an admin person, having someone help me with the business aspect, because I'm not the smartest guy, contrary to what my girlfriend thinks. I'm not the smartest guy.
Vienne, we love you. I don't know how she puts up with you. I'm like, why didn't we get Vienne on the show? It would have been so much more.
We did get her on. She likes to be able to point out my what does she say? How she says it, my times when I'm difficult, like she points out, because she takes away that difficulty from me. Anyway,
well, like the one thing you brought up, the book E-Myth, which I'm a super fan of, it's the entrepreneurial myth. Yeah. And the myth is that people start businesses because they're entrepreneurs or because they're good at business. And that's just not true. That's the myth. The reason people start business is because they're good at what they do. They're good technicians. You are good with people. You're good with lighting. You're good with these things. So, hey, I'll start my business, right? And you struggle with the business side. So it's really understanding that and then hiring your replacement. What are you not good at, Yeah. And that's why I'm doing my mission here now is like, I know I can help people. I don't have all the answers. I don't have the perfect processes. I don't have all that, but I know I can help people get that 1% better. So the final kind of question I have for you, if you could go back, and you said something earlier that kind of didn't hit me the right way. You said, I don't know if it was a waste. I don't think anything you've done is a waste. I don't think any mistakes that you've made, any faults, any failures, none of that is a waste. It's all about education. And think about all the good that you've accomplished, all the people you've affected in your life is insane. I mean, just with Landscape Lighting Live, and then you've been helping Garden Light for years. Hundreds of lighting professionals are having a better life because of you. That's just business. That's just the lighting side. I'm sure the people in your community and your environment and all these other places are also impacted by your attitude and stuff. But is there something that if knowing what you know now, something you would change, something you would do 25 years ago, you're 2 years into the business. It's hard to do things now. It's like, it's hard to learn a language as an adult, but it's easy as a kid. It's a lot easier to do things when you're younger in business than it is when you're older. Any advice that you give someone else that's fairly young in the business?
I'm going to tell you a funny little quick story and analogy of that. So my first year of college was in 1984. And I took a computer course. I walked in and I said, this is a fad. this will never catch on. So
Bill Gates in there, you're like,
that's the one thing
Steve
that
Jobs.
I wish that in the beginning, when I wish I would have got more computer literate quicker. and really learn the tech field more with, especially when Ryan is like a master at this, with all the Googles and all the little things that we can do to increase our business and get marketing out there. I mean, I really was a big grassroots marketer, or they call it guerrilla marketing, where I was just out there knocking on doors and talking to people, like, just because that was what I was good at. I was good at talking to people, and I was okay with talking to strangers. And that's what I was great at. When now we have so many things at our fingertips that you don't have to do that to get your business out there and known. So if I was to look back, I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention to that and not had such a bad taste in my mouth and thinking it was a fad. There's a couple of things I was really
Computers?
wrong on.
This isn't going anywhere. This is way too complicated.
Stuff, people are not going to pick that stuff up. But I do want to retract one thing. I don't really believe it was a waste. Nothing's ever a waste of time because you learn from your mistakes. So I just wish I wouldn't have wasted so much time doing things the wrong way in the beginning, because time, I can never get that back. And it's one of the most precious things in life we have. It's there and it's it. And we only have so much time. We only have so much runway, right? So getting the most out of life has always been a big thing for me. I really enjoy moments in life, like a small 5-10 moments of doing something I absolutely love to do makes up so much effort and energy. I'll give you a perfect example. I was on the boat this weekend with my kids, and I was on a beautiful little island. Not trying to make people jealous, but it was this little beautiful island with white sand, and the water was crystal clear. And I just had this epiphany going, you know what? As soon as I pull away from that dock and that few minutes I'm away, I'm on the boat, I mean, that was a full vacation for me in a couple hours. And I just appreciated that time so much. And wouldn't trade for the world. That time was precious. And that made up for the grueling week that I had, where I spent 8 hours on a small boat. Not even a boat. It was a little dinghy. I was on under a dock working for 8 hours, wiring this dock up. And I got home and I was literally taking a shower, and I still felt the waves. So I was on this boat for 8 hours. And then my friend was like, my guy at work, he goes, "What are you doing this week?" I'm going on. He goes, "Are you serious?" I'm like, because I really enjoy the water.
Well,
but it was because that time was precious.
There's a lot of things that I would do different. I mean, there's a huge list, but the one thing that I think is it's not easy because more people would be doing it, but anyone can do it. Let's say that, because some people are like, well, I can't raise my price, or I can't close the deal on the spot, or I can't do this or that. But the one thing that I think anyone can do is schedule time to work on your business. So just like you schedule time to go install, so you're a technician, you schedule time to go do sales, you have to schedule time to be business owner. If you don't schedule time to be business owner, you're never going to be a business owner. Like, it's a proven fact. There's no time to do that because you haven't scheduled it in. So, for some reason we think that there's a 5-day work week or a 6-day work week or 7. Why couldn't it be a 4? What if you had to just get all your installs done in 4 days or 3 days or whatever you want? Like, you can make your own rules. And that's something that I wish I would have known. I didn't know you could make your own rules. I didn't know. I thought you had to work 5 days a week, and then we stretched it to 6 and sometimes 7. I just thought that's what you did. But if someone would have told me, dude, you don't have to work Fridays. Fridays can be, in fact, you don't have to work Thursdays. Thursdays can be your business owner days, and Friday can be your reward day to you and your family. Like, what? Give me permission. So I want to give everyone else that permission. Like, you don't have to. I promise you, you basically, like, when you make $20,000 a year, you make it work. You live on $20,000. I've made $20,000 a year in my life. Then when I got a raise and I was making $40,000 a year, I made that stretch, right? And then 100,000 and 200. It just keeps going. So you can make it work even in the 4 days. Even if you say, I'm too busy for that, I don't have time. I want to encourage you. I want to encourage everyone, like, schedule time to work on your business. It's never too late to start, and everyone has this capacity. Everyone has the same ability. It's not easy because it's easier to just get distracted and go do a huge sales call or go put out a fire. But if you told yourself that you didn't have that time, we all have our sacred time. Like, I ain't working Sundays. Well, why can't you make Saturday your sacred time, and Friday too, and all those things? So that's one thing I would go back and change for sure.
That's great advice. And let me just say that kind of bleeds into what we're talking about with the 100 push-ups a day. I mean, you make time for that that 100 push-ups a day, whether it was at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, you made time for it. It's ironic that you're talking about this because I was talking with my replacement, my guy who replaces me, and who's me when I'm not there. He's like, Brandon, you ever thought about working 4 days? Just let's do 4 days and have 3 days off. He goes, what if we worked longer? 4 days we did 10-hour or 12-hour days for, and he goes, oh, sure, would love that extra day. I go, I could do that. I go, I own the business. Why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we schedule that? Because that one day extra, would it be a Monday or a regular day in the week where you can do something, that would be so beneficial for me as a business owner to have that one day to run my business. It's great.
It's huge. It's the key to getting to the next level. And the key here is also discipline. The reason I'm doing these push-ups isn't because I like to do push-ups. I freaking hate them. The reason is because I'm conditioning my mind to learn what discipline is. And then if I can learn what discipline is, then I can keep stacking onto it. Right.
That's right.
And so if you just decide, you know what, Joe, that's a good idea. Let's do the 4-day work week. We're already working 10, 12 hours anyway. And he's like, finally, I get a day off. The key is like, what are you going to do with that extra day? I mean, every once in a while, you need to reward yourself. Go to the island, go do the things. But can you be disciplined to take those 4 hours, those 8 hours, whatever it is, and really start to work on your business? And that's what discipline is. The people who are successful, the people that are able to get to that next level, they have an extreme amount of discipline. That's usually the one thing that's different. They're not smarter. They're not more talented. They're not anything else. They're just more disciplined. And that's what it takes. And
that's brilliant.
It's hard.
It's good. It's good stuff. All right, wait, that deserves this.
All right. So before we wrap up, is there, I guess, as we're wrapping up, anything else you want to share? Any words of wisdom, any advice, and we'll wrap this thing up?
Honestly, just I can't tell people enough that just keep doing what you think is right as far as this business goes. And if you think listening to Ryan and being mentored by him is right, I'm telling you right now, he has changed a lot. I'm not gonna say it's a miracle or anything like that, but he has got some avenues that will get you there a lot quicker than it took me to get in 27 years. So I encourage you, join Landscape Lighting Secrets. If you're not a part of that, join that. Continue to be influenced by him and his mentorship. He does a fantastic job. He's amazing. I enjoy his company immensely, and I consider him a very good friend. But he's smart. He's a smart guy, and he knows this business. He's made a lot of money in this business, and he's even helped me. And he helped me become less stubborn and more open for change. So I encourage everyone to do that.
Well, I appreciate that. And if you guys want to meet Brandon, you want to be around him, I mean, I couldn't do Landscape Lighting Live without him. When I started to put that event together, I was like, wait a minute. Like, how am I going to do this? Like, who's going to actually do the teaching? And it's been so awesome. Such a great partnership. Yeah, Brandon is a great teacher, teaching people how to actually do the thing. And so thank you so much for your support in those as well. You came to Utah this last time.
Blast. I can't wait for the next one. Okay. They're so much fun. You meet some great people. We have great times and eat great food. And we learn a lot. And I love to teach. It's part of the coaching in me. And I can't wait for the next opportunity.
All right. Love you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Ryan. Have a good one, man.
All right, guys. You guys have a great week. Keep moving forward. Thanks for the inspiration, Brandon.